Welcome to the Stacking Habits podcast. We're going to essentially build a habit menu. We're going to talk about finance, health, nutrition, efficiencies, morning routines, everything. And we're just going to essentially lay out a lot of habits, and you, the listener, can sort of choose which ones make most sense for you. Well, hello and welcome to the Stacking Habits podcast, where instead of one host, we've decided to have three. So we are excited. This is episode 0. Episode 1 will be our first interview, so we're just going to kick things off and be a little bit low-key here. So we want to bring you in and share why bother, why have a podcast. And so I've got my hosts, David and Matthew. I'll let them say just a few words about themselves, and then we'll kind of get into what we want this podcast to be. So David, you want to take it from there?
Yeah. David, Colorado, Denver. And I've had the pleasure of working with you guys over the last couple of years. And, we had a podcast before this. And I'm excited for the rebirth.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Version 2.0.
Yeah, so I'm Matthew Osborne. I'm from Phoenix now. We used to all be here in the Denver area, and then we've kind of all separated our different ways, except David's still here in the Denver area, I guess. So
I got left behind.
But it's good to be back in Denver, meeting together again. It feels like old times. We used to have our office here, get to meet up there, have people over. It was a good time. I'm missing these days of us being together, getting this community talking. It's just different over video chat, different remote. So I'm just super excited to be in person again, talking together, talking about habits, how we can improve our lives. There's nothing better than that. So
love it. And I am Caleb Roth. I moved back to Indiana. That's where I went to college and spent 10 years prior to being in Denver and meeting these cool cats. I miss the mountains. It is really good to be back, and just getting both of you together for dinner last night, I'm still feeling the effects of it. But it was just great to sit around a table and chat for several hours. And I'm excited to be here as well. So why stacking habits? In the nutrition space, it's called your supplement stack. It's what you build together to sort of get the ideal or optimal nutrition. In the tech world where we came from, we built and sold a company called Scout IQ. We helped Amazon sellers just be smarter about which books to flip online. In the software world, it's called your tech stack. It's what language are you building in? What's your payment processor? What are the tools that you've intentionally or unintentionally put together, assembled together to build your tool? So that's what it's about. It's about the habit stack. What are the intentional pieces that you're going to add to your life? And it's not just habits. Our first guest, as we did the pre-call with him, he kind of was kind of stuck on that term. But it's about the habits, the rituals, the routines, the rhythms, the cadences about your life. So it's all of those things combined together. So that's essentially why the name is there. Our last business was awesome. We got to help entrepreneurs. We helped a lot of people, whether it was a side hustle or guys like David that are, have a giant warehouse and are buying books by the truckload. We helped them make their lives better, but we were sort of a one-trick pony. The answer to everything was, hey, I want to make more money. It's like, great, sell more books. Hey, I need to find meaning in life. Great, sell more books. So I'm excited to broaden this out and have a more wide reach and just wide-ranging discussions about that. So I sort of came up with 3 things that this podcast, I want this to be about, and one thing that I don't want it to be about. I'll share those real quick. They're alliterative. My name starts with C, so I got a bunch of C words. And then I'd love to just hear what you guys are excited about, who this is for, and we'll wrap up the episode 0. So what is this about? Number 1, it's about community. It's about getting the 3 of us back together because I miss hanging out. We've sort of been on sabbatical for about 8 months now. And anybody that's an entrepreneur that had, sold your business, or as the cool kids say, a liquidation event, it's just awesome to take some time to rest, read a lot of books, recover. And I've got the itch. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah,
I'm ready to get back at it. So ultimately, it's about connecting with the 3 of us, as well as whatever community decides to listen in. So if you're listening in, hey, welcome. We're glad you're here. It's also about curiosity. I think all of us are naturally curious. We, like Matthew said, we want to better our lives. So it's a matter of what are we going to, we're going to interview some amazing guests. Maybe not Elon Musk, but also maybe at some point. We'll see. We don't know where this podcast will take us. But we're going to follow our curiosity, and you can follow along, and hopefully we're going to ask a lot of the questions you would want to ask of the guests that are here. And then lastly, it's about, honestly, just creating. It's easy to be a consumer. It's easy to spend money. I think one of the most fulfilling things in life is to create. And so we're going to essentially build a habit menu. We're going to talk about finance, health, nutrition, efficiencies, morning routines, everything. And we're just going to essentially lay out a lot of habits, and you, the listener, can sort of choose which ones make most sense for you. So we want you to be intentional. The idea of a habit is it's something that you do. So you can have all the ideas in your head, but if you don't put them into practice, what does it even matter? And so those are three things I'm excited about. One thing I want to be careful that this is not a competition. I know all of us as entrepreneurs tend to be very competitive. And if someone says, hey, my morning routine, here's the 13 things I do, it's natural for us to go, cool, I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to 15. If you can do 13, I can do more. So we're going to present a lot of ideas. We're going to have some amazing guests on. And it's not about adding every single habit to your life. You will go crazy and insane. So it's not a competition. I want you to be intentional as the listener to listen and say, hey, that's a cool idea. But just like the anti-question, what is this podcast about? It's really cool to have the anti-question. What is this podcast not about? And so as you think about habits to add to your life, I want you to really be thinking about what are some habits that maybe I should take away. It's too easy just to add and add and add and get stuck in this perpetual cycle of more. And I think it'd be really, really meaningful to ask yourself from time to time, what do I not want to be doing? So that's what I'm excited about. I'll let Matthew and David chime in as well.
Yeah, no, I love those 3 C's that you said. The community is a really big aspect for me. Like, it's one of the things I miss most about our business we ran before is it didn't just feel like a software product. It was a community that happened to have a software product attached to it. And of course, we made money through the software product. But as you guys are well aware, we hosted events across the country. We got to meet our customers in person. Our email list of 200,000 plus people that are just interested in selling on Amazon and wanting to be part of this community, and our Facebook group is thriving. I just miss having that community, like you said, where you're helping contribute to people's lives, you're helping them sell on Amazon, start a side hustle. And it's never about selling on Amazon, we all know. It's about having some freedom in your life, being able to maybe step away from your job, spend more time with the kids, whatever that entails. And so I really miss that community aspect that we've been away for, like you said, 8 months now. So I'm looking forward to building that community. But one other thing that gets me really excited about podcasts like this is the consistency, is because I really like another C word, consistency for you. Is I love the podcast we did before and just podcasts in general because it gets you every single week, once a week, to take time, whether you kind of feel like it or not, but to sit down, have that community, reconnect, meet someone new, be able to talk to them, figure out what they do in their life that makes them thrive, the habits they have. And I think there's like nothing wrong. It's only benefits to be able to take time every single week to figure out a new habit, something that you can maybe apply to your life, take inventory of your own life and your own habits and figure out what should I be doing, maybe what should I be taking away type thing. And so I love that podcasts kind of force you to be consistent. They force you into that community, learning from new people and just having that time to reflect every single week. So I'm really excited to get in that rhythm again. I missed that rhythm we had before. And yeah, I think hopefully people listening can learn as well, but I'm really excited to learn from all the guests we have because having a podcast is a great excuse to talk to new people, pick their brains, to see what makes them tick. And so that's what excites me the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys made some great points. I agree with all of you guys. For me, I think my main motivation is I'm just here for the ride. I'm here for the journey. You know, I think the last couple of years, just being able to join your team and go on this awesome journey has been so like eye-opening, life-changing. And again, I'm excited for the opportunities to reunite the band. And yeah, excited to see what sort of magic happens.
Hopefully there'll be a lot of magic. There's a saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. And so I love having you boys in my life. I think both of you inspire me in different ways. For those that want to check out the old podcast, some of it's a little dated, but it's in the book space. It was called Books and Bourbon. You can find it where all fine podcasts are played. Matthew does a lot of the technical work, and your discipline really stands out. We were talking last night. I think David and I, maybe I'll speak for myself. I tend to go off the cuff a little bit more and be a little bit more of a free spirit, and having your discipline and your consistency to say, hey guys, let's meet, every week. Even when I didn't want to, that really stacked on itself.
Absolutely.
So I'm really grateful for that.
I feel like we're sitting in sequential orders, like most discipline to least discipline.
Oh gosh,
I was going to say
I think that, but It's cool to be able to see just like habits you can stack on top of each other and they grow exponentially over time, the results you have with that. It's just so cool. Like the last podcast, seeing like, hey, we've done 34 or 35 episodes in a row. That's like more than half a year we've been consistent putting out these episodes, and just even seeing that momentum and build up is inspiring. And so I'm looking forward to episode 2 and 3 and 4 and just working through those and building up kind of this inventory of, like you said, habits you can scroll through. Because I love that. When I listen to podcasts, I don't know about you guys, but I normally don't just click on the top one. I think most people don't. You kind of scroll through till you see either a person you want to hear about or whatever the topic they're talking about. In our case, it'll be a specific habit where it's like, hey, what can I do to help my family set goals? Like, hey, I haven't thought about that. That'd be great to hear about that. Or, hey, this guy's great in finance. What habits does he have that's helped him make so much money when he's only made $70,000 a year? How has he stacked up so much money just making that amount each year? And all these different people have different habits in different areas of their life. And I love that idea of scrolling through, hopefully one day, hundreds of episodes, thousands of episodes, where you can see all these inspiring people and find habits that you know you want to implement into your life, and then have a guide, just clicking on it and having a guide of how to do that in your life. So that's really exciting.
I was gonna say, like, if we have thousands of episodes at like 1 or 2 episodes a week, how old will we be?
We'll be pretty
Let's
old.
not do the math. 50 a week. If we get to 1,000, that's 20 years.
Oh, man. Yeah,
We'll have a lot more gray hairs.
yeah, a few more.
Joe Rogan style, 5 a week, guys. Let's go.
We'll see. So we don't know where this goes. For us, it's just about getting the band back together and kicking things off. So we're excited. We hopefully you can follow along with us. But who knows? We don't know if we're going to get sponsors. We don't know if we're going to buy more businesses, launch more businesses. We're just going to be transparent through the process. And you're the same person. We said this a lot in the book space. Now it's going to apply to people. But you're the same person you were yesterday, except for the books you read and the people that you meet. And so hopefully we're going to meet some incredible people on this pod.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, with that being said, we will wind down episode 0. Thanks for following along. For those that have followed our adventure in the past, we hope to just keep bringing great content. And if you know of great guests for the show, by all means, toss us a line. info@stackinghabits.com.
Or go to their website too. It'll be stackinghabits.com. We actually have that domain for you to go to. We'll have all the episodes. You can put your name on the email list to get notified when we do have new episodes go live. And like we said at the very beginning, we want to build a community. And so that email list will be the initial thing we start using to let people in on inside things, maybe some Q&A sessions, things like that. So if you want to be a part of the community, join that email list on stackinghabits.com. That's where we're going to talk to you guys and communicate with you guys. And so head to the website, subscribe on whatever platform you want to listen to, and we'll start pumping out those episodes.
All right, it's a wrap.
Over and out.